So, welcome to my leadership video, and I'm going to use a bunch of little images and such, kind of like a little scavenger hunt deal, to show what I have learned this semester about leadership. So, this, as you can imagine, is me. And as such, I realized it's important for me to know who I am. Because if I'm going to lead other people around, then obviously I have to know who I am first. Because if I can't know where I'm coming from, I'm never going to be able to understand where they're coming from. And if we move here, you see these little two toys. They're not the most normal. If we look, zoom in here, we got a little football cow. Got a little bird playing baseball, and that's not the most normal thing. So the lesson learned here is don't be afraid to stand out. You know, don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to go new places, try things that people haven't tried before. And on that note, we move over here. We got some scrap paper, and it hasn't been used yet. And if you'll notice, even more so on the other side. And it's blank, and it's one of those reminders to always be a learner. Never think, that you've learned everything, because there's no way. And over here, we got a couple different things. We got a computer and an art book and some old papers, just reminding us to be able to use all of these different resources that we have. Because, if you do all of your stuff from the internet or you do all this, then whatever you're trying to undertake is only going to be one-sided, and that's probably not going to be too excellent. So if we look over here, we got a Bible. And obviously, as Christian leaders, this is going to be the most important thing. I put it in the middle because it's in the middle of everything. And that's just the most important thing, is to realize that we're following Christ and we're following His example of a leader. And so this is going to be what we base everything else off of. As we go over here, you notice we got a backpack and a coat. Now what would those be doing here, you may ask? Well, there's a reminder to always be prepared. Always. Because you never know what's going to happen. You never know when it might suddenly get cold. You never know when you might need something that you weren't thinking about bringing, which is the image here. But also with leadership, you never know what's going to happen. You always need to have a plan. You always need to know where everything is. You always need to be prepared. And kind of on that note, we have here a little water bottle reminding us in terms of preparation to make sure we take care of ourselves too. Because if we do all of this stuff for other people and we don't take care of ourselves, then we kind of end up looking like hypocrites. And there's nobody who's going to want to follow a hypocritical leader. And we look out here, just going to take a look outside. And if you'll notice, a lot of times people forget that we can go out to different places, that we don't always have to stay in the same little area, but that there's a whole bigger world outside, and we can be able to use that and be aware of that, and we don't have to ignore it. And finally, got a little ducky here. Now, this may seem a little weird to end with, but if you got a rubber ducky chilling on its own, it's not going to accomplish much. The point of the rubber ducky is so that people can play with it. So you need more people than just the little ducky. And that reminds us to use others. To not be afraid to delegate, to equip, and basically use everybody around you to make your ministry and your leadership more effective.